you guys? Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are having an amazing week. If you guys are watching the replay, always let me know in the comments with hashtag replay. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, don't forget to click subscribe right here at this button and give me a thumbs up if you guys find any sort of value in this video. Also, I'd be so thankful if you share this around to people if they need this advice, because I guarantee you a lot of people that are growing their personal brand or online business through Instagram are going to need what I'm going to give you guys, or the advice that I'm going to give you guys in this video, which is how to sell through Instagram story without the swipe up feature and without having your own website. So if this is something that you've been excited to learn about, let me know in the comments. And if you guys ever have any questions at all about what I'm going to talk about, always let me know in the comments. That's why I come on live. That's why I push this video onto YouTube, is because I love answering your guys' questions. So like I said, today I'm going to talk about step-by-step how to sell your products or your services through Instagram stories without having a website or without the swipe up feature. Because I'm going to tell you right now, swipe up does not solve your problems, okay? If you can't sell your product or your service before the swipe up feature, before having a website, so having the swipe up feature, which if you don't know what the swipe up feature is on Instagram, that means when you get 10,000 followers on Instagram, you get the magic swipe up link, which means on Instagram stories, when you put up an Instagram story, you have an option to add a link so people can swipe up to go directly to whatever website that you leave on Instagram story. So another thing I always say too, if you want the swipe up feature so bad, go to Pinterest, because every Pinterest pin is embedded with a link. So I was like, if you want swipe up that bad and you only have 500 followers on Instagram, you might want to go over to Pinterest in 2020, because growing on Instagram in 2020 and you're not using advertising, you know, you're not already a celebrity, you know, you're just starting out, and like I said, you're not going to pay for advertising. It's going to be extremely hard to stand out because, like I say in all of my videos, only 3% of your following is seeing your content on Instagram, okay? So right now, the way that the Instagram algorithm is in play is that it's tailored towards advertisement. Okay, you guys see this just as much as I do. Every third post is an ad, and I think on Instagram story, it's like every fourth Instagram story is an ad. So what that means is before, I would say 2016, there wasn't advertising on Instagram. And if there was, it was bare minimum. It was so cheap to buy ads on Instagram. And I'm looking at the door and the person's gonna start blowing the leaves, and I almost had a heart attack because the guy's so loud. So anyways, back in 2016, pre-2015, 2016, pre-advertisement, we had all the organic reach in the world, right? Kind of like how LinkedIn and TikTok are right now, right? We have so much ROI with pressing out our content on to those social media platforms. But the way that Instagram, because it's so advanced, they are now pushing their time and energy onto making money for their business with the big time, buku businesses like Coca-Cola, L'Oreal. All of those people are pushing millions of dollars a month to Instagram to stand out in your newsfeed. So guess what? Instagram's always going to pick money over people that want free, right? Same with you and your online business. So like I said, today I'm going to give you guys step-by-step how to sell an Instagram story. So you want to start using Instagram stories if you're not already, along with Instagram posts, for the sheer fact that I already said is that 3% of your following is seeing your post on the Instagram timeline. Okay, so take the number of followers that you have, times it by 0.03, and you're gonna see how many people around are seeing your content. Not only that, you're gonna hope that the people that are engaging with your content are your ideal clients as well. So that's another thing that's hard about Instagram, is you don't really know why people are following you, which is why it's amazing to use Instagram stories in collaboration with your posts, because Instagram stories last 24 hours. They're not as serious as an Instagram post, and they go away, which means we can use that and stay more up to date with our community through Instagram story. Also, all of the attention is on Instagram stories, and you can target your ideal clients through Instagram story with a location tag and with a couple hashtags that are related to your niche and to what you're selling. So I'm on the Instagram story train right now. I absolutely love Instagram stories, and it's my favorite way on Instagram to connect with my ideal clients because I use Instagram stories probably like, I would say 5 to 10 posts a day, depending upon what I'm posting. And if you want to check out my Instagram, it's instagram.com/Kylie_Francis. And you guys can see how I use Instagram stories to connect with my audience and to connect with my ideal clients. So without further ado, let's get to how to sell on Instagram stories. So if you guys do or do not remember, if you're new or you've been around a while, I did a live stream that I also repurposed onto YouTube. I'm gonna leave that link right here. It's called the 4 types of content. And if you're watching on Facebook, I'm gonna leave that link below in the comments. So this is so super important to understand. So I'm not gonna go too deep into it because I want you guys to click that link that I just sent you up here on YouTube and down here below on Facebook, is the 4 types of content. Because in order to sell on Instagram story, you can't just like post an advertisement about your business and be like, buy my product, especially if you don't have a link or you don't have swipe up feature, because people are going to see that like Instagram story space and it's going to be like, oh, buy my $600 product, buy my $10 product. It doesn't really matter the price of the product. People are just going to be like, I have no idea what this product is, okay? Because always remember, if there's anything that you take away from this video, is that 3% of your following is seeing your content, which is why it's so super important to be repetitive. And when I say repetitive, this is like a daily consistency repetition of the 4 types of content, okay? The 3 shuns before the sale: education, connection, inspiration, selling content. Okay, so I linked that video already. I want you guys to go and watch that video on the 4 types of content. So I'll briefly go over the 4 types of content and why this is so important with selling. Because what a lot of people get wrong about sales is that, especially newbie entrepreneurs and especially people that are just, maybe in their first couple of years of online business, you start to realize that it's more about educating, connection, and inspiration type of content that leads to selling content. If you do all of these 3 types of content right, education, connection, and inspiration type content, over strict sell, you're going to notice that sales are going to come more passively and that people are going to be reaching out to you out of the blue. And you're going to be like, where did this person come from? I wasn't selling anything. Like, I didn't even know they were interested in my stuff. And it's like, you need to realize that when you give value daily and consistently by teaching what you know through your experience, which is your story, to teach your ideal clients about the product or the service or the need that they have, you have to teach them why they need your product, okay? Or if they already know what your product is, which is a warm lead, you're teaching them why you're the person that can teach them, or why your product is better than, Susie over there or Joe over there, right? So what you want to do through Instagram story is that you need to build the know, like, and trust factor, okay? So when you incorporate the 4 types of content: education, connection, inspiration, selling. Education, you're teaching them about your product or your service. Connection content is me too type of content. So if I'm walking on the beach and I love pelicans and I write that I love pelicans, it doesn't matter if it doesn't have anything to do with your business. People are trying to connect with you, okay? People buy off of emotion and they justify with logic. So you can do the things that you think are dumb. You can take a picture of the sunset. You can, go to the driving range and say that golf is one of your favorite hobbies. You can say that you were an Olympic trials level swimmer. I just recently had this conversation in another Facebook group with 2 other Olympic trials level swimmers. And I was like, and it was a female entrepreneur Facebook group. And it was like, I immediately connected with them. Like, I had this sense of bonding with them because we went through the same experience together that, quite frankly, if you weren't at that level, other people just find it hard to relate to that. Like the amount of commitment and, what's that word? Commitment and just like things that you had to sacrifice. That's what I was thinking of. Sacrifices you had to make in order to be at that level of an athlete. So even if you share things that you think are dumb, they're not, because it's connection type content, okay? And Instagram story is the perfect place to showcase that because, like I said, Instagram stories last 24 hours. So quite frankly, Doesn't matter if you mess up. It doesn't matter if you know, take a picture of your dog, and people are going to love that, right? Because if you have a Cavalier King Charles and someone else that's your ideal client has a Cavalier King Charles, guarantee you they're going to pick you over their competitor just because you have that bond with having the same dog. No lie. People buy off of emotion, justify with logic. Now, you better have a good product. That's like, you know, we got to stay ethical here, right? So education, connection is Me Too content. Inspirational content is just inspiring people through the journey. So this can be through transformation if you're in health and fitness. A really big one that you can do is use before and afters, especially with your journey. So you can say, you know, you lost 100 pounds, or maybe, you know, you gained 20 pounds of muscle and now you're an elite CrossFit athlete, right? It can be anything that is transformational along your story. Now, don't forget, this can also be a mental transformation. And like, it doesn't have to be this drastic rags to riches. I think a lot of online entrepreneurs, people in general, like, it doesn't have to be this like, oh my God, I was sleeping on the street corner and now I have like a $20 million mansion, right? This can be a mental journey as much as a physical journey, as much as a monetary journey, okay? Whatever that journey of transformation was for you that got you from point A to point B. Remember, you're at point B right now, okay? The person you're trying to sell is at point A, but they want to get to point B. You're I hate to say a couple steps because I don't believe in that at all. I think you're like a couple months to like years ahead of them. And they want to know how you got there because they are the old version of you. I want you guys to write that down if you're watching. Your ideal client is the old version of you. So you know what they like, you know what they struggle with, you know what their fears are because they were yours, okay? Now it might be like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, right? That's why I hate saying like a couple steps ahead, because I think there's also like this notion that, oh, you only have to be I don't know who's teaching this, but I couldn't like disagree more, where people are like, you only have to be 2 steps ahead in order to teach somebody. And it's like, no, because if they start running, good luck, okay? You should be teaching people where they're here, like they're at A, and let's just say you're at like G, okay? You don't, not A to B, A to G, okay? So your ideal client is an old version of you. So that's how you know what they're struggling with, what their objections are, like what they're thinking. That's why when people always ask me about my Pinterest for Business course, they're like, oh, Pinterest is only for women, like, you know, Pinterest like this, Pinterest that. And I'm like, I know everything that they think because not only do have I heard it like 80,000 times, but I've been through that process. It was all the other things that I used to think before I started my journey. So when it's almost like I can answer I see this all the time in this Facebook group. People are like, I feel like you can answer my questions before I even ask them. And it's like, yeah, because I used to be you, okay? That's when you know you're on the right journey. That's when you know you're an expert in what you're talking about. When people, 1, ask you how to do it, but 2, they're like, how do you know what I'm thinking? And it's like, because you're where I used to be, okay? So education, connection, inspiration, like I just said, and then selling content. So why is this important to selling on Instagram story? It's because selling on Instagram story is not just about, like I said earlier, posting about your business and being like, call me like 850-256, blah, 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 right? Or be like, call, or like, this is my, you know, digital marketing services. Like, here's my website, and be like, peace out. Post 1 Instagram story a day. That's it. And then you're like, peace out Instagram, like, peace out peeps. Like, I'll be back tomorrow to post the same thing. And that's just not how it works. So remember, I already linked that video. I'm going to link it below on Facebook as well. But the 4 types of content are so super important for selling, not just on Instagram story, but on any social media network for your business, because it's all about jab, 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 right hook. That's from Gary Vaynerchuk, okay? Education, connection, inspiration, selling. So if you focus 75% of your content on the education, connection, and inspiration, selling, you might sell in that part, right? Which is the best type, which is the best kind of sales. It's like the unforced, and you're just being yourself, and someone connects with you, and then they reach out to you, and then it's like, oh, I had no idea this person was even watching my content. But don't also be afraid to sell. I don't want you guys to think of that extreme either. that you don't have, or like that you shouldn't sell. I think selling is amazing, and I think everybody should sell a product or a service that you truly believe can help somebody else succeed. It's actually your moral obligation to do that. You should show up, you should help people, and you should sell somebody a product or a service that you fully believe in that can help other people succeed. So like I said, don't be afraid to do the 25%. I'm just saying, if you do the first 75% correctly, you're not really going to have to worry about the last 25% because you more than likely already made the sale in that person's mind, and they're probably reaching out before you even sell yourself. They're probably gonna be like, how can I work with you? Like, what do you sell? All of those things. That's when you know you're doing something correctly, okay? So, how do you actually sell step by step in your Instagram story? So I'm gonna give you guys some fun, easy ways that you can sell an Instagram story, because these are my favorite ways, and these are also ways that are guaranteed to work for you. So when you don't have swipe up, it's kind of hard because, like I said, swipe up isn't going to solve your problems. If you can't sell before swipe up, you're not going to sell when you have swipe up. So you might as well learn how to sell without it. So when you get it, it's kind of like cherry on top, okay? So what you're going to do is, like I said, the first step is the 4 types of content: education, connection, inspiration, selling content. So when you get to the selling piece, okay, before I begin, remember, this is a daily practice. This isn't like a one-time thing, do it once a week. You know, you post 5 stories and then you come on a month later and you do it again. No, you need to repeat this every single day. Why? Because 3% of your following is seeing your content. I want you to write that down if I forgot to tell you earlier. That's like the number one thing you need to know about Instagram and Facebook, is that 3% of your following is seeing your content. So you have to be super repetitive. You have to get comfortable with being repetitive with your stories and with your messaging, just for the sheer fact people probably aren't even seeing your Instagram stories, okay? And that has nothing to do with you. It just has to do with the algorithm. So get used to repeating yourself consistently, because another thing too is that, and I say this on a lot of my live streams, we can't be so entitled to think that all of our followers are seeing all of the pieces of content when we push them out there, okay? Because 1, they're definitely not, because 3% of our following is seeing our content. And 2, just because we're on social media doesn't mean that they're on social media at the same time, right? Just because I'm on a live stream doesn't mean the 7,000 other entrepreneurs are gonna hop on this live stream inside of my Facebook group, right? That's just like, quite frankly, impossible, because 97% of them aren't even getting the notification, and the 3% that are online, they could be working on their own posts. Doesn't mean they're going to come on the live stream. Maybe they're going to watch the replay here or on YouTube, or never at all. So you never know. Maybe it doesn't even relate to them. So there's so many different variables that go into this. So when you're selling on Instagram story, when you're on that sales post, these are the tips that I wanted to give you for today. Now, when you go to sell and you want to inform people if they want your product or your service, these are the 2, actually there's 3 ways that you can go about selling people an Instagram story. You're going to, like I said, education, connection, inspiration. You're priming them for your product or your service. You're telling them your experience. You're telling them transformation. You're telling them about your product, okay? How to use your product, whatever your product is. Then when you go to sell, you can ask them through a poll or through the questions, and these are all on Instagram for Business, okay? I don't know if they're on Instagram personal profiles, but if you're in this group, Social Media Marketing for the Online Entrepreneur, you should have an Instagram for Business account. So you want to use the poll and the questions. It's when you go in your Instagram stories, you can swipe up. It's like where you have all, like, you pick the GIFs, you pick like the time, you can pick emojis, and like 2 of the options are questions and polls. Now, why you want to use questions and polls is because you're going to see who is actually interested in your product or your service. Now, how do you know that they are interested? Because you're asking them, okay? You're going to say, would you be interested if I created an Instagram for Business course? Yes or no. Do you want more information when I start creating my Instagram for Business course? Yes, I would love that. Nah, I already know enough about Instagram. Okay, and those are like the poll options, yes or no. Okay, so when people answer yes, you're giving them the answer that's yes. That's another thing too, is the thing with the questions part is that A lot of people find opening up to be very vulnerable. And if you haven't established the know, like, and trust on Instagram through the 75% education, inspiration, connection content, they're not going to feel comfortable opening up to you just yet, okay? Maybe they saw your page, maybe they're like, okay, Kylie's cool, but like, don't know her that well yet because I just saw her profile like 2 seconds ago. I just started following her like literally an hour ago, right? So the same could happen for you, which is why polls are so much better, because you're giving somebody the answer. So you're saying, yeah, that's awesome. No thanks, pass. Okay. So when people click the yes, and the thing is with 2020 on Instagram is that a lot of bots are rating the comments, they're rating the polls, and they're rating the questions as well. So you're going to have to do your own due diligence with this, with like which ones are bots and which ones are actually real deal people. Okay. So when someone answers yes, you're going to see through your analytics which people answered yes and which people answered no. Okay. And another bonus tip that I want to give you right now, I kind of mentioned this earlier in the live stream, is that when you do all of your content, you should be hashtagging and location tagging all of your Instagram stories. One location tag, switch it up. It doesn't have to be like my house, my house, my house, my house. You can do like Starbucks over here, WeWork over there, you know, Times Square over here, like in your vicinity, okay? And you want to do niche hashtags, social media marketing, Instagram for business, Instagram marketing, Pinterest marketing. These are the ones that I use, okay? Because those people, my ideal clients that either follow that hashtag or are looking in that hashtag story at that exact moment, are going to see my content, okay? And that's how you get niche followers on Instagram. So those people are also going to see that poll, right? So when people answer the poll, yes or no, okay? When they answer yes, you get to see their name. It's not just like, okay, 5 people said yes, 5 people said no. It's like, no, Kylie said yes, Marissa said yes, Joe said yes, like Simon said yes, Tammy said yes. And it's like, oh my God, like these are my ideal clients because they're saying yes. Like they're interested in something that I'm either interested in working on, which you can get feedback for, or you can ask them questions about what they would love to see in a product through DM. Or if you have the product and service already made, you can go and ask them into the DM, hey, I saw you said that you were interested in this product. I wanted to leave that link here for you so you can go and check it out. Depending on the price of the product, you might have to get on a sales call, okay? If you're selling a $10,000 mastermind, you can't link drop. I say this about in Pinterest all the time. You can't just link drop your $30,000 mastermind on Pinterest and expect people to pull out their credit card and do a one-time payment of 30 grand, okay? I never say never, but the chances of that happening are slim to none, okay? So when you get people over to the DM, like I said, depending on the price of your product, usually if it's under $1,000, you can leave them a link. If it's over $1,000 and you want to get them on a sales call, which is another tip that I wanted to give you guys as well. So that was the question. I'll talk about that in a second. So that was the poll, yes or no. You see who says yes. You have to send them a DM, okay? You don't say in the DM, buy my product is right here. Make an introduction. Be a person. Guys, you are going to get so far in your online business in 2020 if you just actually care about your ideal client and you care more about them than selling your product. It's not that hard, okay? It just takes, calm down for a second. It takes a little bit of time. Be like, hey, care about them. Be like, hey, I saw you're interested in my product. I have this link for you, but I just want to know maybe what's your biggest struggle with social media marketing at the moment. And you want to learn more about them because not only will you learn more about your ideal clients, but then you can use that as feedback. Use those analytics. Then you can do a live stream on those topics and you can make a course on those topics. You guys get where I'm going, okay? So there's so many different ways that you can take this, which is why sometimes I hate that I have the swipe up feature on Instagram because I rely so much on it that I forget about what I'm teaching you right now. because I'm like, oh, like my Pinterest course, like swipe up, right? But in reality, I should be doing the yes and no. I should pretend that I don't have the swipe up, because then I can talk to my ideal clients through the Instagram DM, ask them what they're struggling with Pinterest marketing, or if it's an Instagram course, Facebook course, etc. Then they can see, or then I can see and get feedback from my ideal clients, what I can include in the course, what free trainings I can do, what blog articles I can do, what I can post today on social media. You get my drift, okay? So with the questions, so that was for the poll, then there's questions. So like I said, with the questions, people have a hard time opening up about their struggles, okay? So a lot of people don't like answering. Like if you're selling like fitness programs and people are going to be like, if the question's like, what are you struggling with when it comes to weight loss? Like, it's like not a lot of people want to answer that question because it's a vulnerable question, okay? That's why I like the poll better, yes or no. And that's quite frankly enough. You don't have to like make people open up their hearts and souls to like the universe and whatever, even though you're the only person that gets the question. I see a lot of people sharing that in the next stories, and a lot of people feel uncomfortable with that. I'm just letting you guys know in case you were unaware. So people have to really know, like, and trust you in order to open up with the question. So if you ask the question, for example, what are you struggling with when it comes to social media? And then someone answers, I'm struggling with creating consistent content. And let's just say you're about to sell a content marketing course, or you have a content marketing freebie, you have a content marketing YouTube video, which I have all of the above. I'm going to go and message them via DM and say, hey, I have this free training. I have this, I have that. Like, and you send them to an opt-in page, okay, which grabs their email address in exchange for the freebie. Now they're on your email list. So then if you have a product or service ready in the coming future, or maybe now, and you're like sending them up the value ladder, then you're going to make that sale passively. Maybe not then, maybe not in a year, maybe not in like 2 weeks, but you will eventually, okay? So the first one was poll. The second one was questions, which I like. I'm just saying that it's harder for people to open up through, pulling out their struggles. They would rather just tap and answer, okay? Because there's no thought process. Remember, people on Instagram stories are tap, 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 okay? So another thing with your Instagram stories too is you want to refrain from writing like, the Oprah Winfrey novel where you're like, oh my God, my course is the best course in the world. This is why you need my course. Like, it's this and that, da, 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 and like writing out all the modules and having like, let's just say you have like 30 modules in your course and you have like a story for each module. It's like people are going, like their brains are going to blow out. Okay. So just refrain from, spilling all the information and like leave some mystery to it. Like, and then you're like, you educate them about the product and be like, don't say, would you be interested in this? Be like, are you currently struggling with Pinterest for business? Is it something that you want to start in 2020? These are just my own examples. And then when they say yes, then I can educate them more about what's inside the product, okay? Because you want to make sure that they're interested before you, quite frankly, waste all of your time. And that's what a lot of people do. They waste so much time on like selling their product, pushing their product out there. And that's why a lot of people get so exhausted, is because they're like, oh my God, I just made 30 Instagram stories that took me like 80 hours to make. And now I'm quite frankly exhausted and I can't even work on like my course for my business. So that's why, like I said, the 4 types of content is so important, because it's education, connection, inspiration. You're quite frankly just educating people, being yourself, talking about your experience, creating Me Too content. And then when you do that, you're not going to feel like you have to go so hard on the sell, because those are really soft call to actions, okay? You're priming people before the sale. So the last and final tip that I have for you guys on how to sell in the Instagram story is that you can tell people to click the link in the bio. Now, why this is amazing too is because it's an actual link, like, right? And I know this live stream is about, how to sell without having a website, but I want to include this as well because you don't need a website in order to do this. So if people are interested, or the same with questions, if you want to learn more about your ideal client, or maybe you already connected with them via DM, what I want you guys to do is I want you to set up a Typeform, okay? I want you guys to Google that, Typeform. And what it's going to do is, it's kind of like SurveyMonkey, where it's literally a survey. So what you're going to do is like when people click on the survey, you're going to get feedback from your ideal clients. And then you can either on the last question be like, like set up a call here or like leave your email here for more information, et cetera, et cetera. So now what this is going to do, this is very popular if you're in network marketing and you want people to join your team. If you want to see who's interested, if you want to qualify buyers, this is a really popular way to qualify the buyer, because you're asking people, you know, if they have $1,000 to invest in a new business opportunity, if they're passionate about this product, like what struggles they're currently having, like what their goals and dreams are for their life, for their online business, etc. So like I said, with the link in the bio, first of all, you want to always utilize the link in the bio, whether you have a website or not. And everyone has a website. If you're watching this on Facebook, you have a Facebook page. Facebook.com/group/social media tip. This Facebook group, right? Instagram.com, you can use, we're talking about Instagram, so you can't use your Instagram link. LinkedIn.com/in/Kylie Francis, okay? YouTube.com/C/Kylie Francis. Those are all, if you have a social media channel, you actually have a link, okay? So start utilizing those links. And like I said, if you want to start qualifying buyers through your Instagram, you can send people a Typeform in the link in your bio and also through DM. So if you want to see if somebody, like I said, is qualified to invest, so this is a really popular way to go about seeing, and one, to stop wasting your time, like seeing if people are legit or not. I saw that in this Facebook group this morning. Someone commented that they were getting all this traffic, all these people, but no one could afford her products, okay? So a great way to go about that is to qualify buyers. See if they're serious, and you can do that by having them answer a series of questions before they reach out to you, so you can see if it's worth your time and energy, okay? So I'm gonna see what you guys are saying. That was, quite frankly, all that I have to say. So I'm gonna see what you guys said in the comments. Oh, Todd said, I think I'm the first to comment on this video. Education, connection, inspiration to your ideal client is the old version of you. Good stuff as usual. Thanks. You are so welcome, Todd. I'm so happy that you wrote that out for other people watching. Tamney wrote #value, love it. And then Casey tagged someone, awesome. So like I said, if you guys have any questions, okay, Alyssa just wrote, I just wanted to tell you I made my first sale off Instagram 2 weeks ago thanks to you. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that, Alyssa. Thank you for letting me know. That makes me so happy. And honestly, I think that just made my week. So like I said, I'm just gonna wrap up this video. If you guys have any questions about selling through Instagram story, let me know in the comments. Without a website, without the swipe up feature, let me know. But I kind of just wanna like briefly go over what I said. 1, you do not need the swipe up feature in order to create business off of Instagram, okay? I think that's like the biggest hurdle a lot of people want to get to is 10,000 followers, because they're like, oh, 10,000 followers, swipe up feature. I'm telling you right now, getting over 10,000 followers is not going to change anything in your business. If you can't make a sale now, when you have 1,000 followers, you have 1,000 people that care about you, you have 1,000 people that follow you. If you can't make a sale with them, you're not going to make a sale at 10,000. So start practicing these tips that I'm giving you in this video in order to make sales through Instagram story. Now, why Instagram story over relying just on Instagram posts? All the attention is on Instagram story. 3% of your following is seeing your content on your Instagram posts. So use Instagram story as a way to build the know, like, and trust factor so people start to get to know you, to like you, to trust you through the 4 types of content: education, connection, inspiration, selling content, okay? Like I said, the first 75%, if you do them correctly, you're never gonna have to sell in your life, I swear to you, okay? People are gonna start coming to you. How can I work with you? What products do you have? Hey, do you wanna be interviewed for this business opportunity? Hey, do you wanna speak at my conference? This is what starts to happen when you push out valuable content consistently, okay? So ways to sell through the Instagram story. Like I said, you have to do this every single day, all right? You have to be consistent with it. And when in doubt, provide value. If you don't know what to post, say something of value. Talk about your service, talk about your product, or talk about yourself, your experience, how you got to where you are. Grow that trust, okay? Like I said, through education, connection, and inspiration content. So when you go to sell, and you should sell your product, that's another thing that I said earlier too, is you want to sell your product. If you have something that can help somebody else out, They're at point A, they're the old version of you, you're at point G, okay? You're going to help them. You're not at point B, you're at point G, okay? You can help them because you were already there. You went through this transformation, right? So you should sell your product. It's your moral obligation to help people with the knowledge that you know. So when you go to sell, these are the 2 ways, actually I said 3 ways, that you can sell your content through Instagram story. You can create a poll. This is my favorite way to sell through Instagram story. I mean, I have swipe up feature now. So like I said, I've used swipe up feature as a crutch so long that like I need to go back to these old ways that work. So selling through the poll, how does that work? Yes or no? Are you interested, or are you struggling with social media for your online business? Yes or no? Would you be interested in learning how to use Pinterest for business to create autopilot passive income and to grow your business on autopilot because Pinterest is a search engine? Yes or no? Okay, all the people that say yes are your warmest leads. They're ready. They're like, I want to learn more information about that. You're this close. The sale doesn't stop there. Just because someone presses yes, it doesn't mean they're buying, okay? Sale doesn't stop there. You got to they're there, but they want to be all in. You just got to help them, okay? And this is where the fears and objections come into place. And excuse me, live video, amazingness, right? You know their fears and objections because they're the old version of you. Like I said earlier, okay? Your ideal client is the old version of you. And I said before, people are like, Kylie, how do you know what I'm thinking? And I'm like, because I was you, okay? So the people that say yes, you can see this through your Instagram analytics. So the people that say yes, and like I said, because it's 2020 on Instagram, you're going to get some bot people. You're going to get some weirdo people that say yes. You just, use your brain, filter it out for yourself, okay? The people that say yes, that you know that they're legit, and you know they're legit because you took a peek at their profile. It's an old version of you. You're like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Go send that person a DM. Now, what you're not going to do is just send them a link and be like, peace out, person. Buy my product. I'm $1,000 richer. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's not what you're going to do. You're going to build a relationship with your ideal clients. Okay, you're going to care. I'm telling you right now, if you care about people, because you're you genuinely care about people, you are going to get so much farther than other people in online business because a lot of people don't care about others. Okay, it's pretty sad, but it's the truth, and it can be your biggest advantage. So go send them a DM, be like, hey, I saw you were interested in my product, in my service, about my new product, about my new service. What are you currently struggling with when it comes to health and fitness, social media marketing, raising a new puppy? It can be anything, whatever your niche is. You want to start that conversation with them because you're going to get feedback from your ideal client, which you then can use for your course, for your service, for your free products, for your next YouTube video. You can put more additional information that you kind of forgot about in your online course, and you can tell them that you're going to include that module just for them, right? So that's what's amazing about communicating with your ideal clients through DM, is that you're using it as a way to not just connect with them, but you're also using it as a way that you can take that advice and then help other people with it. Because I can guarantee you, if they're struggling with it and they're your ideal client, everyone else that's your ideal client probably has the same struggle. They probably have the same questions. So listen, okay? So poll to DM. Like I said, just because they say yes doesn't mean the sale is over. Poll to DM, have the conversation, there have it, right? Second thing is the questions. You can ask people questions or have people ask questions like what's something you wanted to learn about me? And then they answer. It's like, what's one thing you're struggling with when it comes to social media? They write it in the questions box. You guys get my drift. But just remember that people have a harder time opening up and being more vulnerable through writing out their own answers. And also a lot of people don't have time to do that, which is why I prefer polls over the questions, but both work, okay? Polls, people tap. Remember, on Instagram story, people are tap, 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 tap. They're not gonna have time usually to write out all of their struggles. And not only that, once they write them out, then they start to feel down and bad about themselves. So you want to refrain from that and just like I'm just going to say like polls are better. I like them better. And the third way that you can tell through Instagram stories, you can tell people to click the link in your bio. Now, like I said, if you don't have a website, that's fine. The link in your bio can be a Google Doc or a Typeform where you're gathering more information about your ideal client. Like I said, this works really well with network marketing where you qualify the buyer through the Typeform. Now you're probably like, Kylie, what the heck does that mean? That means you're learning more about, like, this is like Survey Monkey. It's kind of like you're asking them like 5 questions. Don't ask them 80 questions where people are going to have to take like a day in order to finish your questionnaire, okay? 5 questions, 10 max. Ask your ideal clients what they're struggling with, like what their budget is. This is really good for any investment over $1,000. Same with the DM. You're probably going to have to get them on a sales call if your product is over $1,000, okay? Because there's like that threshold where it's just kind of like, I'm not going to spend like $5,000 on this just because of their own fears and objections. So you're going to have to get them on a sales call if it's over $1,000, okay? So that goes through the DM and through the link in bio on the Typeform. But why the Typeform is amazing is it kind of makes things a little bit passive. So let's just hypothetically say you've been sick for 3 days and you don't feel like making Instagram stories. You can always have that Typeform in your link in your bio. And then when people come and see, maybe they just see your Instagram post by chance, or maybe they found like your YouTube video and they come over to your Instagram or what have you, somehow stumble across your Instagram page, they can go and be like, you can be like or in your bio, you can say, click below, like, if you're interested in, or are you struggling with social media, click this link below, or like, learn how to grow your following, click this link below. Whatever your niche is, whatever you want to do, you want to get people to click on that link. Then it's a Typeform, and that's how it becomes passive because you're no longer doing it in the DM, but now you are doing it in the link in your bio. So Bob says, so much value here. Thank you. You are so welcome. I know I've probably been on this. It was funny in my head. I was like, oh, I only have 3 things to say. I'm probably going to be on this for like 2 seconds. And now it's probably 30 minutes later. That seems pretty typical for me lately because I just keep blabbling on. So you guys have to like I said, wave the flag for me if I've been on for like longer than an hour. But like I said, I just wrapped that up. That's all I really have to say. So like I said in the beginning of the video, I want you guys to check out the 4 types of content. I will leave that link below on Facebook after I press finish on this live stream, but I already linked that above on YouTube. So yeah, that's all that I have to say for today. So if you guys try any of these tips and they work, or if you guys want to add any tips, always let me know in the comments. Let me know if it worked. Let me know if you have any other ninja hacks or tricks that, up your sleeve that you want to share with other people, because that's the whole point of my YouTube channel and this group is that we're here to help each other out, okay? So share your wins and share other tips that you have so we can all grow together, okay? So like I said, always let me know in the comments. If you love this video, give me a like on YouTube, on Facebook. Don't forget to click subscribe right here at this button. And like I always say, if you guys have any questions at all related to social media marketing, related to growing your online business, how do I start growing my email list? How do I grow my Instagram following in 2020? How do I use LinkedIn marketing for 2020? Those are just some examples. Always let me know in the comments because your question could quite literally and anonymously be the topic of my next live stream. So I hope you guys make it an amazing week and I will see you guys on the next live stream. Bye guys.